this was interesting. You watch a lot of sports, Emma,
yes.
It's my understanding. A lot of times they mic the players, and that's always one of the interesting things to do, right? Like you're like, oh, what is this basketball player saying to this other basketball player? Oh, they really are talking trash, or they're saying, "Why'd you find me?" Or a football player going like, I'm open.
I like that impression of a football player. Grunting, and then I'm open. All right.
I mean, that's probably what they say.
It's pretty accurate.
There is a lot of grunting when they're mic'd up, for sure, though.
Yeah.
Here is Donald Trump, also grunting, and he's going by. Now, I want you to watch this very carefully. He is shaking the hands. This is after the speech, right? Mm-hmm. He's shaking the hands of the Supreme Court justices. The first hand he is shaking, I believe, is Elena Kagan's. I mean, he's already shook the other hands. Yeah. He's shaking Elena Kagan's hand. He's just passing Kavanaugh. And close to camera, on this side of Kagan, is Chief Justice John Roberts.
Yep.
And he's just seeing him for the first time. Like, it's not like these guys hang out at the commissary all the time.
They're also supposed to not look political. They're supposed to sit there and not applaud. And this is
afterwards.
Afterwards, it still doesn't matter. I've never seen anything like this with the way that the president interacts with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
It sort of begs the question. Trump says something to him, and you got to wonder what's it in reference to, because it's not like John Roberts brought him a cake.
Right.
It's like he did something for him, and he's getting thanked. Weird.
Thank you again. Thank you again. Don't forget.
So good. So good, sir.
Okay. So
play it again.
He says, people can listen for this. He says, thank you. Thank you again. Pointing at John Roberts. Hold on, pause it. I won't forget. Christmas happened. Wait, could have been a Christmas card. What's happened since the last time that Donald Trump would have interacted with John Roberts, which may happen maybe once a year, if that. Maybe he hasn't even seen John Roberts since the last time he was president.
Mm-hmm.
What big thing has John Roberts done? I wonder if it was, maybe he bought a bunch of the sneakers. Go ahead.
Thank you again. Thank you again. Don't forget.
So good. So good.
And he gives him a glad-handing slap on the arm. I mean, look, we get that these Supreme Court justices are corrupt, but they really rely on the appearance of being above this kind of thing. And John Roberts, this morning, the Supreme Court, Roberts joined, and it was a 5-4 decision, as well as Amy Coney Barrett, basically, saying that Donald Trump didn't have the authority to retroactively cancel contracts via USAID, and they were clawing back $2 billion that were already owed to contractors who had performed the duties that they were being paid for. And so this Roberts sided against him here. Of course, I don't think that interaction from last night affects that decision, but I do think, like, for a guy like him, it's a little untoward for it to be this public that he's basically saying, you're doing my bidding.
Yeah, I mean, I think if John Roberts was aware that a lot of people were aware that Trump was thanking him so, like, obviously, that it feels like it was like, you did me a favor.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, here's the thing. And I think Roberts is, I mean, he's a right-wing guy. He doesn't like civil rights. He has a long history of working in the Reagan administration, trying to push back on civil rights. He doesn't particularly love the idea of one person, one vote. I mean, he was in part of that, I think, Brooks Brothers riot. But he does, he's a lawyer, right, and he's old enough that he still, like, wasn't raised in the, full-on Federalist society of, like, the law is really just a vehicle. I mean, he takes it somewhat seriously, at least the idea of on some level, his legacy. And the idea that he did Trump a favor
with the presidential immunity thing.
As opposed to,
Yes.
I just was following the law, and that Trump thinks that he did him a favor. I won't forget it. Like, I don't think Trump is going like, you know what I won't forget? I won't forget Plessy v. Ferguson. I thought that case was amazing. I've really delved into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cases and I won't forget it. That's not what he's saying.
And you and I know enough.
You did me a
lawyers-
solid.
You and I know enough lawyers where this is the kind of thing where this is the stuff that should go that John Roberts prefers unsaid. A guy like Alito would be happy to he would have a grin on his face hearing this if he were Chief Justice, or Thomas, or even Kavanaugh, whose debt with baseball tickets mysteriously disappeared after he became Supreme Court Justice. Just something to keep in mind. But John Roberts is not, I think, in that vein. I think he's more of a traditionalist in that way. And I think that this is the kind of thing that can bruise his ego. A lot about our democracy, unfortunately, is hinging on two people, Amy Coney Barrett and John Roberts, over the next 4 years.
Yep.
And Barrett has joined with the liberal justices on occasion. I mean, there's a female-male split that we're seeing. What was the last court case that went in Trump's favor this time? Roberts went on the other side.
That was the EPA allowing
the
for more
EPA thing.
wastewater to go in. And I think Mark Joseph Stern characterized it as Coney Barrett looking at like her colleagues going like, aren't we supposed to pretend this is about the law?
Right. I mean, and so it's going to be interesting to watch going forward.
Let's read some IMs. Jerry at the beach. There's so much I would like to know about being an 84-year-old woman.
That's a reference to Bill Maher saying while drunk and high to the Haktua girl, there's so much. Oh, wait, Bradley, you have
There's
it.
like so much I would love to know about being a 21-year-old girl.
Oh, God. Noel from San Francisco. Thank you. Checks in the mail. Thank you. Rail Machine. You call me a coward for not calling in because you can't fathom how someone would not be able to sit on hold for an hour in the middle of the workday. You don't know me, but claim to know who I call and what work I do.
Well, it's because this was the person I assume that was going after you yesterday, and I forget even why.
I don't remember. That's cowardice. What do you actually do as far as activism? MR is your job. How you get paid. What else do you do? I'll assume nothing but condescend. I offer my condescending services to a lot of groups and go on consent.
You're a consultant on condescension.
Yep. The amazing Grando. For people who just want to subscribe on Twitch with their Prime account, they need to just go to the MR channel, click on subscribe, and they should see a slider for use Prime subscription. Well, I'll tell you right now, I mean, it might be a little bit tricky because we got a level 7 hype train going.
Level 7?
Watch out. Watch out.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a level we've never seen before.
No one's seen it. No one's ever seen it. No one's ever seen a level like that. I don't know if you can go higher. I don't think you can. Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe, but probably not.
Can we get it higher? I think we can, folks. Do we have the Tim Walz thing?
Oh.
Right? Or
Yeah, let's do that in a second. But I
Yeah.
want to talk about this. This is sort of fascinating. Let's play that clip of Dan Bongino. And now this is Dan Bongino. He is now the number 2 at FBI. And Pete Hegseth, who is the Secretary of Defense. This is a video from before either one of these guys had positions, back just when they were YouTube and TV hosts and could party during the day. And here is here are them. They're going to talk about a woke company. Let's hear this.
Climate activist Pete occupying BlackRock headquarters over its investment in fossil fuels. BlackRock, you are not going to find a more left-leaning investment firm anywhere in the known cosmos. Pete, this makes my point I've spoken about a lot, that the cancel culture movement is inherently cannibalistic.
Yes.
People like you and I just ignore them, so they only go to the weak, which are people on the left, and they're going to start eating their own soon because they're the only victims left.
You're exactly right. So when you appease them, then they throw coal on your headquarters and stand and block your entrance because it's never good enough. Once you appease, they come for more. BlackRock, by the way, it's not just another woke corporation. They are the leader of the environmental social governance ESG movement, which is really attempting to address climate change, diversity, equity, inclusion, and virtue signal about how virtuous they are to the woke left. Yet they still need to invest in fossil fuels, oil and gas, because of the strength of that industry, and they do. So they try to have it both ways. They try to make money, and then they try to stave off the mob by pretending like they're some social justice investment firm, which is never good enough. It's not good enough until all the executives there are living on Little House on the Prairie, maybe in Tennessee, with no running water and no lights. Maybe then they will satiate that crowd.
Clearly wasted. But the interesting thing is that they really have a problem with BlackRock.
Yeah.
And it's because of the wokeness and the DEI-ness and whatnot. And this is why MAGA is so upset. First, Bobby Kennedy goes out and tells people you actually should get vaccinated for the measles because the measles is a actual real disease, not a fake disease that you can wish away with crystals and vitamin A. And now here's Donald Trump last night.
To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not.
Okay, we don't need to hear him list through the rest of that.
Although he does lie about how many Americans died and completely discounts the fact that a majority of the people that died were basically laborers from the West Indies. But
What's this name of that big company? It's
yeah, he was getting a little slurry towards the end. The denture gel.
Things are slipping. Things are slipping. Look at that. After Trump applies pressure, Wall Street giant moves into Panama, an investor group led by BlackRock.
No longer woke, it appears.
Apparently, BlackRock, there's going to be a woke guards, essentially, on both ends of the Panama Canal, because the ports are on both sides.
Well, you've got to keep it out. The wokeness tries to come in on multiple fronts.
I bet you they hire Panamanians there, too. Part of their DEI program, probably.
We need a wall around the Panama Canal until we can find out what the hell is going on.
All around the whole thing. Got to shut the whole thing down, find out what the hell is going on. And Dana Loesch, I guess she's still around.
She's around?
Yeah.
I thought that she kind of faded into irrelevance after, being an NRA influencer as that company, or not company.
But here's the thing that's so hilarious about them is they're going to have a momentary moment where they go, what? The biggest demon on Wall Street to them was BlackRock. And I'm no fan of if it was up to me, I think everybody know I would tax them out of existence. But they will take a beat, and then they'll be like, okay, whatever, daddy.
But that's what right-wing populism is, right? It's like it's a false premise because they just pick the companies that they have decided are like the ones they're going to go after culturally, and they make that into an anti-corporate message.
Yes.
there's no there. I mean, they hated big tech until now they love big tech because Elon Musk took it over. It's just their populism is that our guys aren't in charge of all of the most profitable companies in the world, and that's the big problem.
Free speech uber alles, unless they're coming for college students on campuses about talking about Palestine. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.